Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gentleman of Crypto episode 209. Today is Thursday, July 19th, and I'm King. As said yesterday, Bitcoin Zay, he's actually going to be out for the rest of the week, so you just have me here. We'll see him back next Monday. What is going on, everybody? Dan the Man, numero uno. What's going on? Ghost Acosta, good morning. Today is a tennis day, of course, so let me let everybody get in here before we get started. Monty Love, what's going on? As we're waiting, I will go ahead and announce the free Bitcoin winner from yesterday. Yesterday's question was, what has been the biggest ICO bust so far? We only had 2 comments, but out of the 2, I had to give it to Achilles, who said the biggest ICO bust was Lambo coin. He said the name says it all. It came out in 2017. They wanted to raise money so they could buy Lambos and take them cross country to let people test drive them. He said today they don't have a Reddit page. Their web page redirects you, and you can't find them on CoinMarketCap. So we'll be sending you that Bitcoin more likely either today or tomorrow sometime. But thanks for that comment, Achilles. I actually wanted to bring up the Lambo Coin website because that was pretty funny. But it has a countdown, which is like 201 days, but it keeps resetting. Instead of statement, they have their statment right here. So off gate, if you're looking to invest in ICO, the statment part would turn me away. Of course, token distribution, but here's the best part to me. The team. You have the Don, who is the lead developer. It says here he's a legit CEO, so it must be true. You have Dr. Salvatore D. Pirelli, who is a cryptography expert here, and he looks as though as well. You have Max Colorado, who's the brand developer, and Ms. Diversity, who's the contract developer. So I do see that being one of the biggest busts of last year. Honorable mention was the another commenter. I think it was Christopher Ladd. He said OneCoin. OneCoin, while it was an ICO bust, I won't call it a total bust because they still made money off it. While they did scam a lot of people because it was a multi-level marketing type thing, they made money. So I can't call that one a bust. But this Lambo thing right here, this definitely was an ICO bust. This legit CEO, half man, half cat. I can't believe they tried it, but they did. That's how crazy the ICOs are out here these days. So again, shout out to Achilles. Thanks for that comment. We'll make sure we get you that free Bitcoin. Let me say what's going on, everybody. Jizzy Mac, good morning. Madam Crypto. Everybody else here, what's going on? All right, top story of the day. Before we get into top stories, actually, we have 2 dinosaurs of the day. Can you believe it? It's been a long time. Bitcoin Zay left out for a couple of days. I guess he left the front gate open, and we had 2 escape. First one is Citadel CEO, who says Bitcoin is still a head scratcher. He tells the young generation to stay away. Ken Griffin, not the baseball player, Ken Griffin, the CEO and founder of the Citadel hedge fund, has reiterated his negative stance on Bitcoin in an interview with CNBC yesterday, Wednesday, July 18th. He was speaking at the Delivering Alpha conference in New York, and he admitted that he still scratches his head about Bitcoin, claiming that the younger generation should do something more productive than invest in digital currencies. First of all, we keep saying it. It is amazing that you have these multi-billionaires and these guys who are in charge of these huge hedge funds, and they don't understand crypto. They haven't taken the time to even try to understand it, yet they're telling people to stay away from it. So it's one of those things where it makes no sense. Again, I'm sure he's getting that talking point, but he said to prove his point, the billionaire pointed out that none of his clients have ever suggested investing in cryptocurrencies. He said, I don't have a single portfolio manager who has told me we should buy crypto, not a single portfolio manager. Well, you need to fire everybody then, because just looking at Bitcoin itself, for it to go from $1,000 to $20,000 last year. You talk about Ant Shares was rebranded Neo, went from 40 cents to $67 in a year. Even Verge, even though it came back down, but it went back up over 1,000,000% in 1 year. So you have all these high percentage gains that could literally retire your entire fund, yet not a single portfolio manager suggested it. So if that is true, you need to fire all those guys. And he also stated that his company is, quote, having a hard time deciding whether it should be a liquidity provider for a product that he does not believe in. He said there's no need for cryptocurrencies. They're a solution in search of a problem. No, the problem came in 2008 during the financial crash when the Federal Reserve worked with the U.S. government to print fake money into taxpayers to back that money, and then to give it to bankers who gave themselves bonuses without consulting anybody after they fired a bunch of people. That is why cryptocurrencies exist. That's a solution to the financial problem they found when they were created. So Citadel founder Ken Griffin, let's go ahead and give him that loud roar. Oh, there it is. We're going to let it run a couple times. I love it. None of the billionaires want to see this thing go through, which is amazing because that means it is working. Our second dino of the day. Same conference, different words. This guy is quoted as saying Bitcoin will prove it never had any substance, claims billionaire skeptic Howard Marks. Again, he was talking to CNBC. We know CNBC loves to bring in the fuzzsters. Marks, whose net worth tops 1.9 billion, made the scathing remarks again at the Delivering Alpha conference in New York City yesterday, July 18th. Looks like he said Bitcoin is not a worthwhile long-term investment vehicle, but merely a short-term trading opportunity. Again, if you're in charge of a capital management firm, I don't care if it's a 6-month short-term trading opportunity. If you can make over 10,000% of gains, why would you not do that? Would you rather have your 3 to 5 to 7% or 15% gains or yearly gains that you get versus the astronomical ones you can have? So again, when they say, well, it's not a long-term thing, it's a short-term thing, who cares if it's long-term or short-term? For the people who are at least just trading it, if you're just trading and trying to make money, again, that comment he made has no substance. He said Bitcoin is not an investment, it's a trade. In the long run, I think it will be shown to not have any substance. Oh, there we go. Thanks for subscribing, Jamel Hook. He said this is what we call the greater fool theory. Basically, he believes everybody in cryptocurrency are just buying crypto or just buying Bitcoin until they can resell it to somebody at a higher price. I guess he's never heard of hodlers or hodlers, however you pronounce it. But those people, for your information, Marks, plan to never sell. So again, someone who doesn't know what they're talking about. And according to Forbes, Marks Oak Tree Capital has 121 billion in assets under management. Again, its average investor has a net worth of $2 billion. All right, you got an average investor of a net worth of $2 billion. Of course, no one in his club wants to invest in Bitcoin. This is like the antithesis of everything they believe in, everything they saved up for. They're going to say, "Well, you tell me my $2 billion means nothing in the next 2 or 3 years?" They don't want to believe that. But what's even more interesting about both of these dinos, billionaire Howard Marks, get a good look at him. I mean, the guy looks like a dino. Between him and then the Citadel CEO, they both spoke at the same conference. This conference in New York, what is it called? Delivering Alpha. And then they both spoke to CNBC. So it's one of those instances where we see Warren Buffett and Bill Gates next to each other at conferences saying the same thing. We see Jamie Dimon and Munger at the same conference saying the same thing. People, they are all in bed together. They're working together. We all know this. Nothing new to see here. But because he wants to speak out against Bitcoin and crypto, we're going to order him up a loud roar and hopefully a mild heart attack. I don't want the guy to die. I just want him to wake up and come to his senses a little bit. There it is. One more time. Take a good look at him. He actually got a little bit of dinosaur facial features right there around the nose. It said, Kevin Hodges said, hedge funds equals the biggest dark money on Wall Street. Exactly. Yeah, the whole Jizzy Mac, the whole Bankers Club, they're all in it together. Tony Noli, hilarious. Tony Noli said his VCR is still flashing 12 o'clock. Right. It's ridiculous, but again, they need to join in and push this thing away together. Dry Dessert said the problem of banks with Bitcoin, the government bails them out by taking wealth from citizens. The tool is inflation. That does not work with Bitcoin, and they are right to be afraid. Exactly. But you all know what happened yesterday with the House hearing. Nothing good came out of it. It's pretty funny. You know, they brought in their experts and everything. And before we get into it, you know, some of the people did make some really good points at the House hearing. But it's important, though, if you watched it, read about it, or anything, it doesn't matter what people say. The United States House of Reps, Senate, government in general, the bankers, they all have their mind made up about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general. They don't like it. They want to get rid of it. So it's pretty interesting to see these hearings because it doesn't matter. It's not going to change anything. We see they're corrupt. We see they're doing the wrong thing. It's going to continue on. But there was some good points made at this House hearing. So we have 2 articles on this. First one is Crypto Presents a Challenge Beyond Hard and Fast Asset Classifications. First part of the hearing, basically, witnesses before the U.S. House of Agriculture Committee basically said in a unanimous decision that digital assets will complicate the hard and fast distinctions of regulatory frameworks. It's important to note the people who were there. The hearing was chaired by the Texas U.S. Representative Michael Conway, who convened 6 eminent witnesses to give testimony. 6 witnesses at the House. I didn't get an invite, but let me tell you who did get an invite as a witness. Former Goldman Sachs partner and U.S. government regulator Gary Gensler, you don't say, a Goldman Sachs private company partner and a U.S. government regulator all in the same sentence. He was invited as a witness. Andreessen Horowitz, managing partner Scott Cooper, which of course Andreessen Horowitz is a huge VC firm, multi-billion-dollar company. Of course, he got an invite to be a witness. The CFTC's Daniel Gorfein, government, of course, they're one. Law professor Joshua Fairfield, Clover CEO Amber Baldet, and infamous law firm Perkins Coie managing partner Lowell Ness. So when we always talk about the law firm, we had been consulted with a couple of times last year in 2016 when we had some business things going. This is the law firm we were talking about, Perkins Coie. I'm not going to say anything negative about them. They actually do a really good job. There's more lawyers now in the crypto space, but last year, about June, July of last year, around the same time frame, there was only about 10 lawyers in the entire United States who knew what they were talking about when it came to cryptocurrency, and about 4 or 5 of them were at Perkins Coie. All right, Perkins Coie are the same people who represent the Democratic National Party, or they once did, and they have ties to everyone. Again, when we used them, they literally gave us words out the SEC's regulator mouth of as far as what we can do and couldn't do in business. So again, shout out to Perkins Coie. It's actually a really good law firm. I know one of the partners there up in Seattle dealing with some of the Silicon Valley folks and Google and all those companies. And it's a good guy. They know what they're doing in the cryptocurrency space. But yes, I mean, they do consult for Bittrex. They consult for Coinbase. So right now, you know, they are playing for the big guys. And again, it's not a bad thing. It's just, hey, it's who's paying them the most right now. But yeah, so it's just kind of interesting to see the 6 witnesses where everyone who is called to be a witness, I feel like you need to have at least $10-20 million under your name to even be invited. And if that isn't, you know, fair and just in our public United States system, then I don't know who it is. But they said a key takeaway from the hearing that was that a given digital asset may shift its regulatory status as it transitions from one context to another, given the fluidity of the crypto ecosystem. So basically that word was saying that, hey, crypto could do an ICO and come out and is actually a security and needs to be regulated. But the minute that they actually become fully decentralized and they try to make it the case as the Ethereum tokens, they say it's a decentralized network utility token. They said that at that point, the digital asset is a commodity relevant to the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. So that kind of jumps from SEC to CFTC. And then the CFTC basically said, since it's decentralized, there's not much they can do with it either because it's the Wild West. So everyone basically did this whole thing of hot potato, you know, passed the buck around to every regulator there and said, well, we can't do anything to control it, which is something we've already known since it was created, which is why it's still here and is going strong. But yeah, I mean, everybody's basically sat in a room and tried to figure out how they could rein Bitcoin and crypto in, something we know that won't be happening anytime soon. So I think I enjoyed this hearing. I enjoy this hearing because you have all these folks in the same room realizing that they are powerless, and they will continue to have these meetings and continue to beat the wall and continue to work with these billionaire hedge fund bankers until the flippening officially happens, where the next financial crisis happens and people literally do the bank run and say we are sticking in crypto full faith. So can't wait until that day. Second part of the hearing, central bank digital currency is one of the worst financial ideals. That is something we have already said, but it looks like this hearing, the official hearing for the U.S. Congressional Subcommittee on Monetary Policy and Trade, discussed major questions around digital currencies in the hearing yesterday. The hearing was entitled "The Future of Money, Digital Currency, Consider Potential Domestic and Global Implementations of Cryptocurrencies." Looks like some of the subcommittee experts they brought in basically talked about, what was it? It was Rodney Garrett, a professor of economics at the University of California, Santa Barbara, claimed that banks have to decide whether they want to withdraw completely from providing a payment device for the general public or whether they prefer to adopt one of sorts of digital alternative, which in turn could be some form of crypto. Between him and one of his actual fellows, Alex Pollock, they argued that to have a central bank digital currency is one of the worst financial ideals of recent times, but it's conceivable. They said the reason why it would be a bad idea is because something we already said. They said if the banks were to have a central bank digital currency, it would literally be what we have right now, except no cash. So everything that's in your bank account, it would just switch over to a CBDC, something that we already know. He even said that, hey, if we were to do this, then banks would still not only still have the power, but it will actually increase the size, the role, and the power of the bank and the Federal Reserve. And they say that it will actually result in it becoming the overwhelming credit allocator to the U.S. economic and financial system. Again, that would be a bad thing because taxpayers would be on the hook for all its credit losses. And the central bank and the Fed could just continue to print virtual currency as much as they want. I mean, you think they print a lot now. They're printing fiat money. At the end of the day, that does take resources, trees, and all that. But if they could just literally type a number 0, another 2 or 3 zeros on the computer, and we go from having a $1 trillion market to 100 trillion literally in a matter of seconds, that would mean disaster. And it will also mean the dollar literally would not be worth anything because I don't know at that point who will want to continue to use it. Right, Jizzy Mac said taxpayers are already on the hook now. We are, but again, they're trying to redirect. One of the important things of this committee hearing was Brad Sherman. I'm not sure who saw him on Twitter yesterday, but Brad Sherman was at this committee. For those who don't know, he's a representative. Can't remember from which state, but Brad Sherman has been talking about crypto for the last year or so. Of course, negative comments. He previously expressed a highly critical position toward cryptocurrencies, maintained his aggressive stance, stating that he would prefer that U.S. persons were banned outright from buying or mining cryptocurrencies. So here's a representative, Congressman Brad Sherman, who believes that crypto is all for criminals and bad people, and he said the only way that it should be handled is that everyone in the United States should be banned from buying it or mining it. Again, this is what freedom in the United States looks like. A United States congressman saying that you adults don't know what you're doing and we're going to do this for you and you shouldn't be allowed to do anything. Now, of course, the reason why I'm bringing up this guy, it's not only because he's also another dinosaur. In fact, we're going to give him a roar in a moment. This is 3 dinosaurs today. But because the crypto dog on Twitter, if you haven't seen it, make sure you go check it out. The crypto dog on Twitter called out Representative Brad Sherman. He said, Brad Sherman was so concerned about crypto users using cryptocurrency for deceptive and illegal financial activity, yet his top campaign donation came from a company that had to forfeit $13.3 million to U.S. government for facilitating illegal gambling. That is right, people. The same congressman who is saying cryptocurrency is only for illegal activity and criminals and U.S. citizens should not be allowed to mine it or do anything with it, actually got the majority of his campaign donations from an illegal gambling site. If you click on it, you can kind of see who he is. Here's the top contributor for 2017, $12,500 from this Ally wallet. Of course, these are the people who had to turn over and forfeit $13.3 million to the U.S. You can see what Ally wallet is here a little bit more. In 2010, Ally Wallet reached an agreement with the U.S. Justice Department to forfeit $13.3 million to settle allegations that the money was traced to illegal gambling at offshore websites, including Isle of Man-backed poker stars. And of course, here you can see where the federal prosecutors went after that company. And last but not least, we gotta give Congressman Brad Sherman, who literally lost his Twitter war yesterday once he reached out to the crypto dog and asked him to stop. He literally DM'd him and asked him to stop. A representative who got caught in the act after he's trying to get something away. Yeah, somebody just said it perfectly. John Sieber said that's fascist, makes no sense. But this is what we're dealing with, people. We have our government being caught on TV, on the internet. These receipts are being saved. You have a congressman trying to ban crypto, ban U.S. citizens from doing it, which I think is illegal in itself. And then he's actually taking illegal money from his for his campaign. So again, let's go ahead and get this guy a loud roar. I mean, it's almost a shame when looking at it. You know, I wish he would stop. I wish the congressmen and the rest of the government would stop. It is a shame to see, you know, not only myself serve. I know we got a lot of crypto warriors here who serve in the United States military. I know people that's still in the military, but this is what we fight for. We fight for big bankers and billionaires to keep their money and to keep competition at an all-time low, and for congressmen and regulators to do their bidding. So for those who are still in the military, just know it's a check and it's a job. All the other stuff, don't believe it. Don't drink the Kool-Aid, people. You're working for private bankers and private regulators. You're not working for the people. So it is what it is. And good news, though. Change.org launches Screensaver that mines Monero for charity. Way to turn something negative into a positive. Everybody heard about the coin high that was going on last year and early this year, where all the Monero mining could be linked to different websites. I forgot which, I think it was like Stars or Showtime or something had it going on. A bunch of other websites were illegally mining Monero from your computer. But it looks like Change.org actually is putting out a screensaver for you to do it and donate to their cause. And of course, as I try to scroll down, my computer's freezing. So we'll see if I can get that back in a moment here. But I think that was a pretty cool story. I mean, it's a good way to use technology for something positive, and to put a spin on it. You know, everybody's saying that all this stuff is negative. Here we go. Boom. It's called dubbed the mining screensaver. The tool activates whenever a user steps away from his or her computer for a set period of time. As long as the device remains powered on, the tool will use the PC's idle processing power to run software that mines Monero. And it looks like they're asking for supporters to install this as a screensaver that will mine it on behalf of the for-profit organization's charitable foundation. So that's actually pretty cool. Grab this charger. I think that was a pretty cool story, and I think we'll see more of that, because it's one of those things where it's a why not. If you want to donate and you don't have the money to donate, but you know you do have a computer or you own an office or you have office computers, then why not have people leave them on where you can donate to an organization without having to do anything, but literally just leave your computer on. And it's actually one of the things a lot of people do anyway. You know, electricity problems are. What was it? I can't even think of the name. We went through this on one of our military bases. We had a whole program where, you know, people at the end of the day had to go through buildings and turn off lights because government was going through sequestration and furloughs, and they literally were trying to save every dollar. So they were going across the whole base, turning off lights and computers at the end of the day, because traditionally people leave lights and computers on in big organizations. So if you had a big organization that was attached to something like this and you were leaving lights and computers on, at least you can leave it on and allow it to be mined and given to charitable donation. I mean, you talk about hurricane relief disasters and all that stuff. You know, President Trump said we didn't have any more money to get to Puerto Rico. Well, hey, let's leave Capitol Hill's offices and computers on and just have them mine money to send over there. So that's pretty cool. And last but not least, ex-Trump advisor Steve Bannon is making a cryptocurrency. Steve Bannon, former chief strategist of U.S. President Donald Trump, confirmed that he wants to launch crypto of his own. If you remember, around this time, actually last year, or it was about a month or two ago, Steve Bannon kind of hinted that he wanted to make a cryptocurrency. Now he said he's actually thinking about going forward with it. He's saying they're the future, adding that he's working on some tokens now, utility tokens potentially for the populist movement on a worldwide basis. I got to be honest. If he does do a token, I think it's a money grab, honestly. I mean, if it catches on, but I think it really is a money grab. You know, he said he contemplated naming his token a deplorables coin, of course, referencing the term used by former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton to describe Trump supporters during the 2016 presidential election. But what I think is important about this story is if Steve Bannon is considering making a cryptocurrency, you better believe Trump has talked about cryptocurrencies in that Oval Office, all right? Dan the man said he's going to do the KKK token. Listen, why not? I would do a KKK token right now as a market, all right? This is do a KKK and a Black Lives Matter token, all right? Feed the market. For those who know 50 Cent, when he did the G-Unit and G-U Not campaign, it came out that he was in charge of the G-U Not campaign. They campaigned about shutting down his group, and he got paid both ways. So it's business. But no, seriously, if Steve Bannon's talking about cryptocurrency, again, President Trump has talked about it as well. And President Trump has talked about it, people. It is only so long before he has to go public. We are literally one bull run away from President Trump being at the White House press conference saying, all right, this is what we're going to do about Bitcoin and crypto. And I wouldn't be surprised if they go far right, because that's what all the I mean, look at what the regulators doing. Look at what the regulators doing. Look at what these big bankers are doing, what these big hedge fund managers are doing. Everybody is saying make it illegal to have cryptocurrency, which is something we tried to tell people back in 2016 when we were aggressively trying to get people to buy at a pretty low rate. We're like, they were going to make this very difficult for you to buy, if not illegal. And that is what we're seeing now. But I think it's a positive thing that Steve Bannon is doing it, because the circles he runs in, whether those political circles or financial circles, the word is out. Everyone knows about crypto, and the fact that mainstream news is still not covering cryptocurrency is actually a bullish indicator to me. That is saying that they are trying to do everything they can to suppress it, and even doing all of that, it's still here and it's still surviving. It's only becoming stronger. So I think that is a very positive thing. Now, for the free Bitcoin today, for the free Satoshis. So we just talked about Steve Bannon and his cryptocurrency. I want to know, if you made a coin, what would it be called and what would it do? So any coin you can think of, if you were to make a cryptocurrency token, what would it be called and what would it do? And of course, get as creative as you want. Laughter always does well. And yeah, I don't know. I think I would make like a Dino coin, where we just like, I don't know, something where we can get these dinosaurs up out of here ASAP, because it's getting ridiculous. Of course, and as always, here you can see at the top of the screen, we'll be at World CryptoCon 2018 in Las Vegas from October 31st to November 2nd. We have a code here as well where you can get $250 off your ticket. If you're thinking about going, I would suggest you do it buy those tickets as quickly as possible, because the cheaper ones are selling out fairly quickly. And then other than that, that is the show for today, and I will see you all tomorrow. Have a happy Thursday. And let's see what craziness comes out of the crypto cycle in the next 24 hours. Cheers.